rest of everybody.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? I checked
Hold
out,
on.
I forgot.
I went in there and I said, uh-oh.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Yeah, I'm all wrapped up.
I'm just saying, why don't you just make it 8 hours a day? Because the Swiss are there 8 hours a day. They can, at any time, a student.
Can you hear me now, Steve?
The Swiss are there, yeah.
Are you good? No? Yeah?
What do you get, lunch?
Steve? Can you hear me? Nod if you can hear me. I can see you. Okay. I'm sending out the link again. Now, your mic doesn't work still?
I did Clark. Students are there for 5.6, actually in instruction, 5.6 hours. 30 minutes for lunch and 5-minute passing between classes.
Oh, you really broke it down.
Yeah, so
Let me just send this out again.
This is just their actual instruction in class time, 5 hours, 5.6 hours.
Yeah, but so like Las Vegas, they have that short day on there.
Yeah, so they call you.
So
That's really. That's how it's still 8 hours. Good. Go in after school. Say 4 o'clock if they, facilitators are there. Facilitator, what do you keep it?
Okay, I sent it again. But so Steve,
yeah, I'm sure that this is all these
yeah, we're trying to get on the live chat. What do you need? Oh, I have the live broadcast today. Tomorrow.
The live what?
Broadcast for the video teachers.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what we were. I sent you an email, that's okay.
Oh, okay, I'll check it in a minute, but let me get these guys on.
Oh, okay.
Steve, I can hear you loud and clear, but my mic is working. Don't know why you can't hear me. I don't know why I can't hear you either.
Yeah.
I know.
So, you know, for that.
Unless it's the stupid headset.
Seriously? Go outside.
What's up, man? And we're also talking to the facilitator. We're not having that.
Yeah.
Okay, I moderation of the auto meter for myself and you. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Now I hear you.
There it is. Headset.
It was my headset?
I think so.
Great. Oh, well. Okay, well, now we we got one more viewer there, so it's going to be a little rough with the noise in here, but I'll mute my mic once he gets started, so then you guys won't hear all the noise up in here. Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I do need a live. Oh, so that must be you, Matt. He says I'm live on the air sign. That doesn't stop them up in here. Trust you me. Okay, so well, at least now we just need to get Darren on, or Fletch, as we say, and then we'll be good to go, right? So, sorry, I could mess with the website and show you guys the website until he gets on. I don't know if he's having the same issues with that link. I don't know what went different with that, but, hold on, and I'll get the website up.
Well,
Let me text him and see if he's having a problem.
I think that's something we
Is everything working? I can see the stream, but I can't interact with it. Okay, changed stream, check email. Yeah, so he's having issues. Oh, hey, I just sent you a new link. Yeah, so you're in the same boat where you can't interact. We had that problem with Steve. We got Steve on, so I don't know. Steve, what did you do to change? What did you change?
Actually, I went on to Google Hangouts, and your link ringed me, and then I got on that way.
Oh, so do you have Google Hangouts, Fletch? Yes. If you sign on to there, then I can send it. I can send you the link again, and then maybe that way it'll ring. I can add you directly.
No, I think if you just played in the game, that's an ineligible.
No, yeah, that one I had to change it because it wasn't working right for some reason. Of course, we tested this and everything was working great, but but it's okay. I sent the last link I sent was at here. Let's see. I sent it to the Fletch chat one. Do you want the ISM instead? Okay, let me see if I add you right here. Okay. Okay, why? Oh, it won't let me. Why won't it? Do you have a Gmail account? Yeah, but how was Chet signed in yesterday? Did he just do the link? Yeah. So the last email here, let me send it again. Okay, I'm now going into my email.
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Huh? You sound great. Are you kidding? Hold on. Now I need to get your email address. Copy. Okay. Sending it over right now.
Well, that went for a while, but I know my brother took it. My brother took it recently. When we were 9 years old, we had so many people. I went to college. I remember it. Are you sure?
I want to know.
Okay. Do you have a Google account? But Fletch wasn't signed in with a Google account. Or I mean, Chet wasn't signed in with a Google account yesterday, right? Oh, you have no idea? I thought.
You're here.
Hey, maybe if you sign in with, can I send you the link to that?
Should we unplug this or is it? Maybe.
So Matt, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayhood, did it the last, was it the last link that you got through where I could see?
I invited myself to this, but I don't know if you sent one out at the same time, but this one had the Hangouts link and not the Plus link.
Hey, could you put that Hangout link in the chat and I can send that out? I don't know why it's doing that.
Sure.
You got it? Okay, let's see. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Okay, I'll hang up. See ya.
All right. Hey. There we go.
Okay, sorry for the delay. Welcome.
All right. Who have we got on anyway? So we've got Monique, Stephen, and Matthew, right?
Yep. So far, the rest are probably having issues.
Yeah, it didn't work through the website link for some reason. I had to go onto to Google Plus, and then go to, what was I? I was in settings or something like profile or something like that. And then once I got to my profile, your invitation was there. It didn't come through email. It came through once you were logged into Google Plus.
Oh, so maybe that's the problem. Everybody has to be logged into their Google Plus in order to have the controls.
I think that's probably it.
Cool. So, and now we lost Steve. So you guys are all good to go? Can you go ahead and start? And then I'm
Yeah.
going to send out that link, Matt, that you just gave me. I'll send that out. Everybody's probably tired of my emails. But, oh well.
All right. Whew. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize for my my health this morning. It's a little under the weather, so it sounds like I'm calling you from underneath the ocean or something. Let me just plug in my phone. Sorry. We're in the middle of production on a picture, so I got to stay somewhat connected to the outside world. Okay. So now I'm completely unaware of where we need to start. So I just got told about this yesterday from Chet. So let me know where I need to start. Where are we at with Steve?
Well, we figure what you should do is introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your history, and kind of like the same drill you did when you came out, and then go on to share and talk about the website. And I'm going to mute my mic so that.
Sorry, that was totally me. Some old stream was coming through on a different window.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, great. So yeah, just kind of share about your stuff. They've got the students kind of hanging out there too, and
okay,
and it's all you.
Okay, great. So Chet and I have been in the business for about 25 years. We worked on a lot of different movies. I went sort of the production route of doing physical production, working as a storyboard artist for films such as my first big studio picture was a picture called Sandlot, and then moved on and did Dumb and Dumber and Con Air and a whole host of television pilots like what was the Charmed and Touched by an Angel and a whole bunch of other episodes pilots that you'll probably never ever see. And did that for a long time, doing features. Did about almost 100 features as a storyboard artist. Got my start as a layout artist for Saturday morning cartoons on television. And Chet kind of went the other route. Chet went the studio route. So Chet worked at DreamWorks for 7 years and really kind of was in the feature development group there. and developed pictures such as Small Soldiers, Private Ryan, Amistad, Meet the Parents, that kind of stuff. So together, we sort of started Sneak on the Lot a long time ago, about 15 years ago, right after the Columbine shooting, and said, hey, let's, there must be something more we can do, you know, to help young people sort of express themselves. And we thought, you know what, film is a great way to express yourselves. You get to put your feet in somebody else's shoes, and you get to investigate and really thoroughly research a subject, and then go out into the world and tell the world about the subject, which can be a daunting task. Because if you don't do it right, somebody out there knows exactly the specifics of what you're talking about, and you'll look like a fool if you don't get it right. So it works really well as a teaching tool, film. And we took off for about a year and just opened up an office and had students from all over the area sort of sent to us. Anybody who wanted to learn film. I had never taught it before. I didn't go to film school. Chet had gone to film school. So we came at this from two very different directions. Film school was not something that was very effective for Chet. He didn't necessarily do him any good as a filmmaker. As a person, I think it did him a great deal of good. So we're not dissing education. Always get as much, for those students out there, get as much education as you possibly can get. It's always a good thing. And then my advice is always, don't ever, 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 ever give up. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not talented enough to pull this off. Because it's exactly those kinds of people who don't give up who end up being the next Steven Spielbergs or Tom Cruises or whatever. So don't ever give up. Anyway, so we started Sneak on the Lot, and after that year, we really had a great curriculum that we had developed together about what we thought sort of the perfect way to teach film, and that is by making movies. You can't teach film by reading books or watching somebody else's movies. You have to go out and make stuff. So we wrote a curriculum and we put it online, and this is a while ago. Excuse me. So this would have been, I don't know, 10 plus years ago, when the internet was just coming around, and it took about a half an hour just to stream like a tiny clip the size of your thumb, if you remember those days, the AOL days. And so we did that for a while, put it online, and tried to sell it to educators. But at the time, you guys will remember this, schools didn't have the internet all that much. So you're trying to sell a product to a group of people who don't know they need the product. And they don't have the tools to be able to put that product to use. It was a difficult time. So we continued to sort of hone our curriculum and make it something that people could really utilize. And as we did, it got better and better, and we saw that the students' films and the people who were using the product, their films were getting better and better. We then started a program that Monique and Stephen were at last year called the ISM Summer Workshops. Now it's called Sneak on the Lot, but at the time it was ISM, which stood for Independent Student Media. So we do these workshops because what we saw was a student would come up and would be really, really good in the classroom, and then the whole class would sort of, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but the whole class would rally around this student. The student would make amazing work and then leave. He would graduate. And the programs would collapse on themselves because they didn't have a teacher who really understood how to instruct film and guide students through the storytelling process. Some teachers that we found across the country were very, very expert at making movies, and in fact were filmmakers prior to becoming teachers. But most of the cases, the teachers were sort of saddled with the task of teaching film and had never made a movie and never gone to film school. In fact, in one case, I remember a principal came to us and said, well, we're going to have the dance teacher teach the film class because isn't making movies sort of a dance between the camera and the actor? You know, that was a tough day. But you know what? Here's the truth of the matter. I'd rather have a teacher who didn't know anything and was excited and passionate about teaching the course than a teacher who knew everything about teaching film but didn't really have the passion for it. So I'll take that passionate teacher every single day and twice on Sunday because you can learn how to teach film. That's not the problem. And so what we decided to create was to take our curriculum and start adding tools to it. And these tools were the tools that we were using in the summer workshop. It's the same stuff. It's the sound effects. It's the interviews with professionals that you get when you come to the summer workshop. It's the music, the free music. It's the stock footage. It's all the same stuff that we're providing at the summer workshop, only now let's give it to everybody online and let students make their films better by just having access to these tools. So that was the idea. That was sort of the genesis of the website and where we're at now. The summer workshop, just so you know, I have to plug the summer workshop. And Monique and Stephen could probably do this more accurately than even I could. But the summer workshop is a week-long, I'll call it a boot camp, that is strenuous and difficult, and we have fun. We have a lot of fun. But we work a lot. It's 16 to 18-hour days, 6 days of flat-out filmmaking, and then with a little bit of I don't know what you'd call it, sort of Hollywood tourism injected in there. But if you're interested in that, we can talk about that later, or you can talk to Steve and Monique about it, because what we've seen is the teachers that come to that summer workshop universally have a better program throughout the year than any other instructors or the programs across the country. And that's why we made it. We made it so that teachers would have an enormous arsenal of experience, not just tools, but experience in making movies that they can thereby inject back into their programs. So with that, I see we're getting a couple more teachers. People are sort of slowly starting to figure this out. I think it took me a while too, so don't feel bad. Let's go over maybe the beginnings of the website, and maybe talk about just first of all how to register. Is that a good place to start? Hey.
What do you guys think? You guys want to say hi, Sparkling Waters?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I'm finally up and running.
Yay! We had some issues here this morning. But so before he starts going over basically signing in to the site and everything, does anybody have any questions about some of the work or anything for Darren? And all the everybody's just looking. No? Nothing?
Any questions I can answer before we get started about filmmaking, or maybe some of the problems you might be experiencing with the website, or even with your program? Doesn't matter.
Here's your chance, people.
You just barely got here. No pressure.
Okay, no pressure. Well, hey, maybe walk through, if you can walk through, because you can screen share, correct? Do you have the tools to do that?
Yep, I can, sure.
And then we can, tell you what, guys, if you have a question, if you just have somebody type in the group chat, then I can stop chat, or sorry, Fletch, and say, hey, we have a question.
So, can everybody see my screen or not? Did it not work?
Not yet.
Oh, here we go. Got it.
Oh.
How's that? Does that work?
Yeah, except for the fact that it's me you're seeing.
Oh, well, hang on a second. That'll change. That's my desktop. Sorry.
There we go.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, well, what happened here?
Oh, well, hang on a second. That'll change. That's my desktop. Sorry.
There we go.
How's that? Is that
I'd
better?
like to point out that our group is the only group that's doing a Google chat here.
Yeah, nice.
Is that working? All right. So this is, you may have seen last week we had a massive hacking attack on our landing page. That's just destroyed.
No, that's not.
It was some sort of an attack on our mail server. This is, you may have seen last week we had a
there we
massive
go.
hacking attack. Somebody microphone on, or I don't know what's going on. It's just
Hey guys, mute your mic when you're not asking a question, please.
attack on our mail server. Last week we had a massive
delay, 5 seconds delay, so nobody knows who's on top of it.
That's why it's hard for us to go live from our studio because our switcher has delay.
Wait.
Like
There's a delay, so everybody please mute your mic.
the meeting is always messed up. Because like they'll stop, you know, read their story, the next one will start reading your story, the time is always on. And it's impossible, like,
It's awesome.
get it, trying to switch it between hands. Because like they'll stop, you know, read your story, the next one will start reading your story. There you go, there you guys are.
Okay. All right, is it working? Everybody's muted, but
It's Northwest.
Dan.
We're Northwest. Speaking of which, we are going to have to do that for
I think Suzanne.
I had to write this thing last time.
All right, is it working? Hey, that might work. All right, can you still hear me? Can everybody still hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes,
All
we
right,
can hear you.
perfect. There we go. Okay, let me get back to this. So here's our new landing page. There's more to come. We just put this up just so we could thwart the hacker that was attacking our mail server and sending out spam to our mail server. There we go. Okay, let me get back to this. So here's our new landing page. What's going on? Somebody's we just put this up just so we could thwart the hacker that was. All right. Let me try it again. Okay. So there's two sites I should point out. I'm going to go over the school site, and then we can talk about the lot later if you want, and I'll even show you a demo of where we're at with the lot. But the school site is the one that you guys are familiar with, right? This all looks familiar. I'm going to show you how to register real quick, just in case you haven't registered. Obviously, the Register Now button is kind of obvious, but you never know. So the school registration is for new schools registering that have never used the site before. If you're just coming on here, you want to click the registration for the student button. Whoops, sorry, touch screens. Oh, what is going on? What in the world? What's happening? What is going on? Let's try this again.
You went completely dark.
I got my glasses on, I can't.
I think we lost you. Completely dark.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, there we come back.
My browser crashed for some reason.
Oh, man.
All right, let's try this again.
I think we lost you.
Now we can do this.
Completely dark.
All right, let's try this again. Okay. this again. Sneakonthelock.com. Here we go. I'm guessing you can all see this. So when you go to register now, you want to register as a student. Fill out the necessary information, and in the school code, your teacher will be provided with a school code when they register as a school. That school code is case sensitive, so you'll need to make sure that it's exactly as your teacher indicates. Agree to terms of service. Here's the terms of service, which basically just allows us to show your films, and then you submit, and you'll be stuck inside of your teacher's group. Then you come in here, and once you register, you'll automatically be sent inside the site. But let's go away. Okay, there we go. So let's just put this. I'll just real quick, and I'll walk you through the site. So now, once you're inside the site, you have two ways to navigate. You've got this sort of carousel, right? You can select any one of those, or you can go up to the menu and it drops down the same carousel. I'll walk you through the site. So now, once you're inside the site, oh, that's Susan again. You've got this sort of carousel. It's just for some reason auto unmuting. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. So once you have this carousel or this tray that you can drop down and select any one of these. So let's go through these really quick, and then we'll answer any questions you might have. Once you're in the curriculum, there's 4 different curriculum involved. So you have public service announcement, or PSAs. That's the simplest form of what we do. Okay. This has the least amount of assignments to your finished project, but it's also the least comprehensive. So ideally, you want to work your way, start with the public service announcements because they're the easiest. Now, the interesting thing about curriculum is when you're doing a PSA, it's the same thing you do when you're doing a commercial, and it's the same thing you're doing when you're shooting a short film, and it's the same thing you're doing when you're doing a feature film. There is no difference in the steps that it takes to do any one of these. Documentaries, totally different ballgame. In fact, I just finished my first documentary that's coming out in theaters. I have to give it a plug, right? So it's coming out in theaters. Documentaries, again, totally different ballgame. Okay. So the documentary is a totally different category. You really go out. There's not a whole lot of writing involved in a documentary until after you come back with the footage, because you don't know what the story's going to be yet. So you're going to go shoot something in the desert with lions. Well, what is the story with the lions? You don't know yet. You have to just go shoot the lights out. You're going to shoot all day long every day and hope that these lions actually do something that's worthy of watching. Then you come back and you sort through thousands of hours worth of footage to then cut your film together and write something and put it together. That's a documentary. But in these other categories, you're really planning out what you're going to go shoot. So let's go through these really quick in the PSA section. So there's always an overview to all of these. You can see what this overview is and how the curriculum works, right? So you're going to start with development, writing your script. And as you write your script, we're going to teach you exactly, here's, for instance, on the PSAs, here's a bunch of different areas that you can do PSAs in. What do you want to do? Water conservation, don't drink, let's see, respect people, whatever. We've given you a whole bunch of options. You can do whatever you want, but here's just some options. And each one of these has a whole bunch of things that you can do, right? So you teacher roadmaps to let the teachers know where they're at in the curriculum, brainstorming exercises, assignments, and then sometimes, oh, here's some examples, scripts you can download. Okay, so here's some commercials that I did. These are PSAs. So let me see. Oh, here's a prom one. Let's see.
All right, you guys. It's now time for the results of the Homecoming Queen election. The second attendant is Denise Willer. The first attendant is Katie Higgins. And now, your homecoming queen is... Okay, here we go. Becca Weininger! True beauty. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
All right. So that's one that I did a few years back. In fact, I've done all of those for the last 20 years. We also provide a screenwriting tool that you can write your screenplays with, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So that's kind of how this works. And now all you do is just go through each one of these. You're going to go through development. You're going to write your script. You're going to create storyboards. We're going to give you a storyboard template you can use, exactly how it's laid out. You can see examples. So here, I think these are some of my examples, actually, as a storyboard artist. Yeah. So you can download all the examples. There's probably something better than that. Let's see. Maybe. Oh yeah, see, so they don't have to be finished either. Look how scribbly these are. This is for another PSA that we did called Oliver, which I thought was great.
Might I add that he has drawn all those?
No, data processing.
Yeah, these are mine, but yeah, you can see that you don't have to be a great artist. You can just sketch out some things really quick, and as long as you can get your image across and understand what people are seeing, you know, it's not. They don't have to be super polished. They can be stick figures, as long as you can get your ideas for what your vision would be across. Now these ones, again, they're not super finished. You can see they're just sometimes shapes and images. Sometimes they're really polished. Sometimes they're not. I could show you thousands of these. I did them for 25 years. You know, they're not. Sometimes they're just not super polished. And nor should they be, you know, because when you're on a film set, you're trying to achieve a certain thing, but storyboards are just a blueprint. They're not the exact, you know, this is how we're going to do it. Sometimes they are, but it's not very often.
Why is it important to do a storyboard?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've recently started using storyboards very differently than anything you've seen in the past. Typically, storyboards are used after a screenplay is written, and that's probably the easiest way to really implement storyboards. Is after you write your script, you're going to go try and figure out how you're going to capture this. And if you got a crew of more than one person, for us, it's usually a crew of 50 or 60 people, and so you have to communicate to all of these people what your vision is as the director for bringing the ship into the harbor, and that you're going to get there and you're going to arrive safely and you're going to bring all your crew with you in a great project. And to do that, you have to be able to indicate to your crew, your props, your wardrobe, your art director, your director of photography, your visual effects crew, your special effects crew, your stunt crew. Where are you planning on putting cameras? How are you going to capture this? What are the lenses you're going to use? Or what are the angles you might use? What are the colors that the production designer might use? So you're trying to get an understanding of what your film is going to be like before you actually go out and capture it. That's what storyboards are really intended to do, help you understand what is in the director's head so that you can do your job better. You can be better prepared for it. I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine is one of the best first assistant directors in the world.
Why don't you
Right.
switch back to your view? Sorry. Let's look at you while you're talking.
Yeah, how do I do that?
Just click on that, the screen share again. There you go.
Okay.
You can switch back and forth, yeah.
Okay, so a friend of mine, his name is Aldrich Porter, and he's actually, I'll show him to you, he's part of the interviews on our site. And he's one of the very best first assistant directors in the world. He's Ron Howard's first assistant director. And Aldrich was doing a film with a director by the name of Ridley Scott, who's one of the greatest film directors of all time. And they were doing a picture called Black Rain in Japan. Now remember, they're in Japan. Ridley is an English director from England, and they were in Japan, and Ridley, out of the blue, said, boy, I'd really love an English phone booth on the corner of this street. And Aldrich just looked to him, and I remember a first assistant director, if you don't understand their position, they're sort of the sheriff on a movie set. They're the ones that make sure they drive the crew, they get everything done on time. They're responsible if anything goes wrong from a standpoint of people getting hurt, insurance claims, things like that. They really drive the set. When someone says quiet on the set, that's the first assistant director, right? So his job is to try and get things done on time, in a timely manner, bring the show in on budget, and he has to do all sorts of reports to the studio as well, but we won't talk about those. And so they're standing out on the corner, and he really says, I want a phone booth, an English phone booth, a red English phone booth. You know what I'm talking about, the kind of phone booth, right, Doctor Who? On the corner here. And Aldrich turned to him and said, sir, we're in Japan. Like, that's not going to happen. If you needed that, if you wanted that, you should have asked for that before we left. And Ridley just turned to Aldrich and said, no, trust me, just get me a phone booth. Aldrich thought, okay. He pulls up, turns channel on his radio, and he calls up the art department and says, hey, Ridley wants a phone booth on this corner for the next shot. Okay. What kind of phone booth? Oh, you're not going to believe this. He wants a red English phone booth. All right. He walks over to the truck, semi-truck, rolls open the door, and there's 45 phone booths in this big truck. Says, that one or this one? Does he want a red one or a sort of older, sort of pinkish, you know, sun-dried one? And Aldrich just thought, this is crazy. How did you know? And he said, I've done 10 films with Ridley. I know exactly what he's going to ask every single time before he asks it. Well, that's an extreme case, right? There's not many people who are going to know their directors well enough to say, hey, I know he's going to ask for some stupid phone booth, so I'm going to pack a ship full of 45 phone booths and drag them with me everywhere I go. And that's exactly what this guy did, because he knew the kinds of things Ridley would ask for. Now, had Ridley storyboarded that, and he probably did, because that's where he was. He comes from storyboards. He's a classically trained painter and storyboard artist before he was a director. He would have known, I want a phone booth on that corner. And the props department and the wardrobe and everybody else would have known exactly what he was looking for. So don't arrive on your set and expect your production designer to know what the heck you're talking about if it wasn't in the storyboard. He's going to try to achieve your vision, but if your vision is changing, that's where storyboards really bring everybody back to the same page. Right? So we're using them a bit differently in our projects now. We use them like Pixar uses them. We use them to develop the screenplay. So we'll do the screenplay, then we do storyboards, then we put the storyboards all in the computer and we watch the film with sound effects and voiceover and music and everything else. And based on what we think of that, we actually go back, re-storyboard, rewrite, and do it again. Rinse and repeat until you have so much you've done it so often that you've made this movie 1,000 different ways, and you know the best way to do this. And that's why Pixar gets such memorable characters and is so tight, and they never, ever miss. And that's why. So features don't use storyboards that way, but that's the way we're using them on our features from now on. And I believe we're the only ones that use the storyboards to actually help develop the screenplay. Okay, so back to our curriculum, right? Let's go back to this.
Yes, go ahead.
How do I do this? I think this is what I want. Okay. So that's the curriculum, right? You're going to go through development. You're going to go through pre-production. And in pre-production, you're going to hire your producer, and that producer is going to hire a director, and that director is going to hire a director of photography, and then an editor. Now, as these curricula get more and more difficult, there's more and more crew positions added to this. But since this was the simplest form, we included the main characters that would be making the movie. Then we take you through organizing the pre-production of how do you prepare a shooting schedule. And inside of all of these, there's tutorials that are linked to them so that you can just click on and pull up.
Here is somebody did the.
There's Chet, back when he wasn't gray.
Which is just all the scenes that are in the film, and put them in a schedule, but we're dealing with a couple of issues with regards to budgets and feasibility of getting certain sets ready on time. A shooting schedule.
So I would take you through this because you can
really
see
the
how
backbone
long
of,
these really
the
take.
logistics of the production, because it's.
But you have interviews, and lo and behold, there's Aldrich Porter right there. So
well,
here's.
I think in broad strokes, the first assistant director is in charge of planning a film from beginning to end, day one to the last day. And it's his responsibility to get together with the director and find out what that director has in his vision and to incorporate that into a schedule. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily fit with what the studio has scheduled, because they generally schedule a picture also. And so the assistant director gets together with the director, kind of tries to understand where he's coming from and invoke all those ideas into a schedule and say, okay, this is how much it's going to be. I mean, these are how many days it's going to be. And the studio will either laugh, say, yeah, right, or they'll say, okay. Usually they laugh. Or, like most directors, they don't show it to the studio because the studio has already given them a plan as to how long the picture will be. So you say, okay, how can we make this work? How can we negotiate it and still have a film, be able to shoot the film, and worry about what the studio thinks about later? But for the most part, first assistant director is the planner, is also the motivator on the set on a day-to-day basis, and basically executes the game plan from day 1 to day 45, depending on how long the film is. So.
All right, so that's an example of one of the interviews. And then after we prepare a shooting schedule, we do a production meeting. We show you how to do production meetings, equipment requirements, what you might need there. And then finally, we go into production. So we're going to teach you, of course, with production, you can't do a whole lot if you don't understand the basics of cinematography. So angle, movement, composition, action, all part of cinematography, and there's all sorts of different clips that help you understand the different movements and what they kind of visually are telling your audience through the motion of camera. Same thing with angle and composition. And then we do some recording sound, live, let's see, lights, camera, action. So this is where you actually get to shoot your first shot. You're going to block it, you're going to light it, you're going to rehearse it, and you're going to shoot it. And you do that over and over and over and over. And then finally, post-production. We go through post-production processes and editing process, and you get to a rough cut. You can see all the tutorials that are injected into this. And these are not short tutorials, by the way. Let's see, editing a scene, for instance.
Editing a scene and putting it together.
So you get to watch
process, 'cause
a scene be cut start to finish
element to
And
that,
this-
I think, is knowing
You can
your
see this
footage.
carrot is just barely
Really getting
moving.
to know what shots you've got.
You're probably into this
and
20
what to
minutes,
pull
30
from.
minutes just to
Really
watch
knowing
one scene.
the performances
So there's a
myself as a
lot of
director.
content that we injected right into the curriculum, and we get that content right directly from our workshops. So finally, in distribution, we're going to teach you how to, make a poster. What sizes are posters typically? Submit your film to theaters, right? And then also festivals. What festivals should you be entering? There's a lot of really good ones out there. There's a lot of really lame ones out there. So you got to be careful about what you're going to enter. And so that is the basics of the curriculum. I won't go over all the other stuff in the curriculum because it's a lot of the same stuff. But I will kind of show you how much longer the short film curriculum is. So development, you can see that select your film genre, introduction of Act 1, plot point 1, rising conflict. There's a lot more detail. That's just development, just getting to there, all those assignments. And then pre-production, you can see it's a lot longer as well. So you got storyboards and shot lists and schematics and all sorts of stuff. So don't tackle this kind of thing on your first project. Do a PSA first. It's a lot easier. Documentary is very, very simple. There's not a lot to it. You go out and you capture everything you can, and then you assemble the story when you get back. That's the basis of documentary. It's a long time in post-production, and you typically very short shooting schedules. All right, so moving on. I want to move on to some of these other tools. You got stock footage, right? So we've licensed a bunch of stock footage. I think there's 4,500 pieces of stock footage. And in this stock footage, all you have to do is come in here, you select the piece you want, and I want this one. So you get to watch it. If you want it, you can just click download, and it will actually download your footage, give you a clip that you can drop straight into your film, and it'll also print out for you a license agreement so that it'll put your name on the license agreement, your school, the date you downloaded it on, and I think that's it. But you'll need these if you enter a film festival. They're going to want to see, do you own all the rights to the footage and to the music? Well, yes, that's one of the things we provide for you. So keep those, print those out when you do those, and stick them in a book. We call it the production binders. So every picture, we do all the same stuff too. We never skip any of these steps, right? So make sure you get the rights to all the footage you're going to use, because when you finally put it out there to the world, you're going to need it. So that's our stock footage. There's about 4,500 pieces of stock footage in the library, and you're more than welcome to use them however you want. So in the music, this is another category we really wanted to give students. One of the problems we saw early on, it's funny because this curriculum is really built around our experience in working with educators, seeing what students do, and then making sure that it's being done in such a way that they're not going to get in trouble doing it, right? It's really what this whole sneak on the lot thing is. Excuse me. And one of the things that we saw early on was that students would just rip a song off of their favorite CD, right? Well, that's illegal, and you can't do anything with your film anymore, especially now, after doing that. You can't upload it to the web. It's illegal. You can't put it on YouTube or any place like that. It's illegal. You can't enter film festivals because you don't own the rights, and they're going to ask for all the paperwork. You can't put it on the air. You can't do anything with it except go show your mom how cool you are. So it's really important that you have the rights. So we went out to the largest provider of music, Warner Chappell, known to man, basically, and said, hey, we want to license your library. Now, this library would be a $100,000 license if you wanted to try and license it. The songs that you'll find in here range anywhere from $200 to $2,000 per track, per needle drop is what they call it. So every time you use it. If you use the same song twice in your movie, you got to pay twice, right? It's per needle drop. So what we did was license it for all our schools and all our users to use as much of it as they want at zero cost. And that's what we did. So you come in here, you can sort by music genre, styles, album publishers, whatever you want. Find the album you want. And let me tell you, it's not easy to find the right song for your movie. It takes time. There's nobody that can say, hey, give me just the perfect song. I want to search for the perfect song for my movie. It doesn't exist. That kind of search engine doesn't exist. The search engine does not know what kind of movie you've made and the exact perfect tone and intonation that you want for your movie. So you find that you have to go through and listen to things. So let's say, I don't know, let's listen to this one. So you listen to the music. That sounds pretty good. This is good stuff, by the way. This isn't your average preview. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm liking that. So I'm going to download that song, and it's going to download right to my desktop. This is how the license agreements work, just so you can see. So when it's done downloading, it's going to pop for me a music license agreement. It tells me the track I downloaded, the name of it, and who downloaded it. It has all the information. Here's the address of the school. Here's all these things, right? So we have everything we need. I can print this out, send it to the printer, and suddenly, woohoo, I have my license agreement. Make sure you print those out. Those are important. You're going to need them. Okay, and this is kind of the music. So you can go through here. There are 63,000 tracks, I think, and I don't know how many thousands of albums, but there's a lot of them. So I suggest trying to sort by genre. There's a bluegrass, right? So if you like bluegrass, dude, you are set. Here you go, right? So sort, look for the styles of music you want, and then download the songs. You'll notice that a lot of these songs come in different lengths. So you'll have Funky Gilda, and down here you'll see Funky Gilda again, usually. Oh, this one doesn't. Oh no, it put it right underneath. So one's 2 minutes long and one's 1 minute long, and this one, so they're different lengths. If you need it to fit, turn that off. If you need it to fit in a certain length. So they do that a lot. They have some funky stuff in here sometimes. Let me see if I can find one of my favorite albums that I'll actually just put this on while I'm working. Here it is. I'll just put this on while I'm working and just let it play. I don't know why, I just like this. It's just a smile on my face. Okay. So, with that said, let's move on to the next tool. So that's the music, and you just download those, drop them right into your movie, and away you go. Sound effects are no different. On sound effects, though, we did include a little search engine. So let's say if I wanted a B-52. Maybe let's spell it differently. Let's try, let's see, helicopter. Look at that. You have howitzer, helicopters, helo flyby. Here we go. Let's try this. Right? Now you don't have to have the rights to all the sound effects. They're not going to ask you for those. So you can just download these and drop them in your movie. Or you can just search through them by going through military jet aircraft, whatever. Find the category you want. And then here's all the military jet aircraft. An F-5, Tiger, right? Here's a bunch of sound effects. You got a high flyby, low, powerful, medium, clear. So you look for the one you're looking for, play it. right, that's pretty good. Download it, drop it in your movie. Those are the sound effects. Now, this sound effects library comes from one of the best sound design companies in the world, Sound Deluxe. So, but we've licensed this again for you guys. Use it however you want. I think there's something like 100,000 sound effects in it. So you should be able to find pretty much anything you're looking for. There's not a lot of Foley. There's some. We can talk about Foley in a minute if you guys have questions, but there's not a ton of Foley, so there's just a lot of sound effects. Now, let's skip that for just a second. Let's go to the interviews. So in the interview section, we always interview people during the summer workshops, and we drop them into this library of people that we've interviewed. So we have several Academy Award winners, and these people, you can see what they do. Here's a director, a producer, an actor, a cinematographer, that sort of thing. You click on them. Here's Alex McDowell, for instance. And Alex McDowell is one of the highest paid production designers in the world. So if you're into design and want to know what a production designer does, this is the guy who production designed Fight Club, Cat in the Hat, Alice in Wonderland. He's one of the highest paid in the world. So what is a production designer? And you get about an hour with Alex McDowell.
Well, it's an amazing thing, but I don't think I've ever said that I'm a production designer without somebody saying, what does a production designer do? And I don't know why, but I think it's partly because it's a relatively complicated role because it has its hand in many aspects of the film process. When someone says they design the costume, it's relatively simple to understand that. And the director of photography, it's about lighting, it's fairly clear. But I actually think the production designer's role is relatively straightforward. It's that the responsibilities for the look of the film and for the look of the frame that frames the actors and the story. And it's really everything to do with that responsibility. The production designer has to choose the location, so a location manager is part of his team, design the sets, and that becomes the art department. It's the illustrators, the set designers, the art.
All right, so that's enough. You get it. There's a lot to learn from all of these people. And we didn't want to just include the basics like director, producer, cinematographer, writer. We wanted to get right down into like, hey, what is the head of the story department? Here's Andrew McCall, who's head of the story department for DreamWorks. What is a story department?
Basically, the function of the story department at a studio is to
We lost sound.
Weird. That was like auto switches something off. Interesting. Okay, so here's Andrew McCall, right? He's head of the story department. We've got composers. If you liked the television show Chuck, here's a composer who did all the music for Chuck.
My name's Tim Jones, and
you get to see him compose something right in front of your face.
And
Monique and Steven can talk about this one because they were there. Brigham Taylor, here's executive producer, executive VP of development for Disney. This is back then. Now his first production just is coming out on the big screen this month, in fact. So go see Brigham's movie. It's called Jungle Book. It's coming out shortly. Here's another one, a creative executive. What does a creative executive do at a studio? Here's Aaron Upson at Ridley Scott's Scott Free.
So basically, my job entails a lot of different stuff, but the first thing to do is define material, and that is looking for stuff for Ridley or Tony to direct.
And she'll go on. She's awesome. That was back when Tony was actually still with us. So those are the interviews. So you get an idea of what those interviews are like.
Can you also share the interactive game? Also?
Yes, we get to that. Yes,
okay, great.
Totally get to that.
Thanks.
So here's the tutorials. So again, when we shoot a workshop, we do a lot of behind-the-scenes footage, and a lot of that footage comes together in these tutorials. So there's a tutorial here for just about every aspect of making a movie, from green screen lighting to 3-point lighting, development, pre-production, production, post-production, and even distribution. So there's a lot. And here's some on, for those of you who still remember Shake, which was a great compositing tool that Apple used to make, that teaches you how to do various effects, right? Copyright law, things you can and can't do on films without getting in trouble. So that keeps you in the clear. So there's a lot of tutorials. There's over 100 tutorials. And just with all this content, you can sit down and watch it every single day, every single class period, and you would never get to the end of it by the end of the school year. So there's a lot of content on here. Be judicious about how you use it. We filter it into the curriculum as you need it, but if you want more, there's a lot more in each of these sections. So the next thing we provide is a script library. A lot of people want to know how to write scripts, and believe me, I have. Here, I'll show you, in fact. How do I do this? I'm going to turn the screen share off. Okay, so this is my, what they call the weekend read, right? This is my weekend reading. So I've got scripts here from, this one is called Out of Nowhere by Joanne Michaels. Now you can see, how long is it? Let's see. This is exactly, I'm going to go through the process for you so you know exactly what you have to do as a filmmaker who receives unsolicited scripts. Shortly we're going to stop this practice because it just takes too long. Okay, so we have this stack of scripts, right? We get a stack every week, basically. And we read to find out if anybody has the next greatest novel in the world. And I can tell already, look, there's 3 different styles of binding. They've got this weird, I don't know, sort of, can you see that? I don't know, this weird sort of spiral binding, and then they have this nicer sort of spiral binding. And then here's one that's just loose that has no binding, and it's in a manila envelope. And then another spiral bound, but this time it has some sort of printed cover on it. All of them are wrong. And these are done by people who probably don't know how to write a screenplay. So I can tell already these are probably all not very good. So I'm probably not going to read them, to be honest with you. They'll sit on my desk for the next month because I know that they're probably no good. There's not a single one in here that's done correctly. So you got to have a format that's right. No binding like this. No spiral bound. Don't spend the money. A studio's going to look at that and go, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Number 2, don't put a color cover with an image on it on the front. Should be very standard. This one's not bad. Okay, so the cover should look like this. It's very simple. Give me the name of the picture of the writer. Usually down here they'll say the production company and how to get a hold of you. See, I have this script now from this writer. I have no idea how to get a hold of him. I love your script, but I don't know who you are. How do I get a hold of you? Where's your email? Where's your phone number? Where's your production company? Where are you located at? I don't know. So how do I even get in touch with that guy? I have no idea. And usually it should be 3-hole punched, right? Take your paper, 3-hole punch it, and put little brass brads. Give me 2 of them, here and here. Right? That's it. So that's how you bind it. None of this nonsense. It just makes me mad. And then finally, format, right? Let's go through these. I'll show you really quick. This one has 122 pages. It's too long. This one has, oh, jeez, good heavens, 319. I'm not reading that. This one has, oh, this is 120 as well. Okay, so I've got, and finally, let's see, did anybody do this right? 120. Everybody thinks 120 is the magic number. Well, let me tell you, it changes. If it's a kid's movie and it's 120 pages, I'm not reading it. Because a kid's movie should be about 90, right? They calculate it by page per minute. So every page should be a minute. Well, that's a 120-minute kid movie. Kids don't watch movies that are 120 minutes, right? Okay, now look at this. This is another thing. font. You can't see this, I'm sure. But the fonts. He's... oh, jeez. Okay, I'm not reading this one either because the fonts are totally wrong. He's got a different font for the dialogue character, and then a different font for the, which looks like some sort of cartoon font for the actual dialogue, and then for the scene description, it's a different font. He's got 3 different fonts. Oh, look, the parentheticals even are different font. There's 4 different fonts on this thing for every page. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And it's single space. I mean, it's a single space and it's 120 pages? This is a 140-page script. He's trying to cheat me. He's trying to fit his story into a certain page count. It doesn't work, guys. There's a certain format. It's Courier 12-point, period. End of story. No other fonts, right? It's bound a certain way, it's formatted a certain way, and you keep it that way so that when you turn a script in, that's what a studio is going to do. They're going to go, 113 pages? Okay, 113 pages. That's not bad. That's about right. Then they're going to go, is it formatted correctly? Oh, look, there's the title page. That's just the way it's supposed to be, except just give me text. I don't need a picture. I don't need something fancy. This one says Final Draft Screenplay. And then they've taped their card here. Don't worry. I could do without this page. This page could go away. Put that information right here. You're done. You're done. And then one font, please. Oh, my goodness. Okay. That's Screenwriting 101. Let me go back really quick to share. We'll finish off this site, and then we'll keep going. So, to do this, what we did was we actually put together a series of screenplays. Don't worry, they're all family-friendly, or at least have been scrubbed of swear words and things like that, so they're good to go for schools. They're all PG to PG-13s. None of them are R-rated movies. And you can basically just download the screenplay and read it. You'll see the format. You'll see how things are written. You'll see how... Read 3 or 4 of these. In the curriculum, this is what you have to do. You're supposed to read a couple of screenplays before you write one, so you really understand the process, what it looks like, what's the format, how is it written, how would you say the car comes around the corner, spins out, throws the guy off a cliff, he rolls, and there's all sorts. How would you do that? What are the actual formatting of that? Finally, when you're done, upload your movie. Show us your film. Let me see what it is, right? So you select the who wrote it. All your classmates will be listed inside of here. So just select who the writer was, the producer was, the director, cinematographer, sound, and editor. Submit it. It'll compress it, sticks it on the site, and then everybody gets to see your stuff in the theater, right? So everybody can upload their movies, and then you can watch other people's movies. You can rate other people's movies. And that's kind of the website. Now, we've got a lot of really big things coming to this website. Let me show you this one really quick. This is Just Write It. So a lot of people don't have screenwriting software. Now, there's lots of screenwriting software out there. If you like Final Draft, use it. If you like Screenwriter, use it. If you like, there's a free one. What's it called? There's one called Fade In that's really good that I like. Let's see, what's another one? There's another one that's free. It's a web-based thing, and it's free, and it's actually quite good. Anyway, we wanted to write our own because there are a couple of things that we never saw in screenwriting software. So, let's do a structure. So, ours is just like any other pieces of screenwriting software. It tells you, is this a character? Is it parenthetical? Is it dialogue? Is it action? Is it a scene heading? And it does all the same things that the traditional screenwriting software does. You can zoom in, write your stuff, create what you want. It tracks all of your characters, and it tracks your scene headings. Now, some of the things that others don't have is now I can switch to a structure setting. Now, we do a thing called the 3x5 card, and you'll go through in the curriculum, a 3x5 card experience or exercise where you write each scene onto a 3x5 card, and then you rearrange them to make sure that your scene is being arranged in the most ideal way possible. Now, there are some pieces of software that help you do this, but they're not integrated into the screenwriting process. So what we wanted to do was, here's your screenplay right here on this side, and you can edit it, and you can write in this section. And then if you want to write the next scene, you can edit and write stuff in that scene, right? And you can do this all the way down. And one of the cool things is you can detach these and reconnect them in other ways. You can add scenes right in this area, right? When you add scenes, that also allows you to come back to the screenwriting section and have scenes that are added, right? So you can write in that view and come back to this view, and you're still writing. All the stuff's still there. So it's kind of cool. So that's kind of where we're at with, and then you can add notes to people's screenplays as well. So like there's a note right there. It also tracks how long your film will be. So this one's only 59 seconds because it's only a page long. But that's how it's calculated, 1 minute per page. Here's a proper title, except they didn't actually enter the proper phone number and things like that. But you can see how that's supposed to be laid out. Okay, so that's just Write It, which we're going to develop into an actual app at a later date. But for now, let's get back to this. All right, so with that done, I want to kind of show you where we're headed with this. Yeah, let's do that. Let me switch back to the screen. This will give you guys an idea. Oh, I stop it. Desktop. No, that's not what I want. Ah, there. Got it. Okay. So one of the things we've got going, let me just fire it up in the background here. Oh, man. This is going to be tricky. Sorry, you're hearing something a second. Okay, let me see if I can share that. I don't know if I can share something that isn't a website. Can you do that? Oh, I'll just have to do desktop. That'll work. All right. Let's see if we can see this. All right, can you all see this? Does that work? Can you guys see this or not?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what we've built. We've built a game. And the game is a completely customizable character, right? You can put on different clothes and different wardrobe and costumes and run around, all that sort of thing. And the game is to make movies and be successful in the film industry. And we wanted to make it so that if you were successful in this game, that you were actually successful in real life. And I'll tell you what I mean as I go on. So as you run around, you actually interact with different people on the lot. Now this is going to be a massive multiplayer online game so that you can actually access this through any platform. It will be on the Xbox, it will be on your phone, it will be on any mobile device, it will be on a desktop. You can access it through PlayStation, and all of them integrate together. So we're pioneering some new technology that allows all of these platforms for the first time to actually play together, which is really crazy. So if you're into games, that you'll understand that usually if you have an Xbox, you can only play with other people who have Xbox. That's not going to be the case in the very near future. So that's really cool. So you sneak on the lot. You have to kind of know how to get over here and sneak. You sneak on the lot. Otherwise, he kind of stops you and throws you off the lot. And once there, you can. This has come a long way since you guys have even seen it, I believe, Steve and Monique. Once there, you actually have all these places you can go. So these are actually advertisements. These advertising a new film festival, University of Toronto. These are different films. Here's a film that I did actually with Anthony Hopkins a few years back. It was a good movie. Nobody really saw it, but it was a good movie. And you can see how they're active. When you mouse over them, you get this little dot that triggers. And so you can watch trailers, and you can also rent that poster for your own movie so that other people can click on it and watch your movie right from here. You can gather up these, what we call prestige, and then we grab those. You add prestige to your. You can also go inside of places. And once inside, you can talk to these people. There's the great Alfred Hitchcock, right? The Buster Keaton over there. This is the story department. You can tell by all the scripts laying all over the table, the desks, and everywhere else. But you talk to people, and you're going to get all the same curriculum, all the same kind of learning, all the same kind of instruction that you're going to get in real life from these people, which is really, really fun. I mean, as educators, I can imagine this kind of a tool available, 20 years ago or whatever, when I was in school. 20 years ago. Sheesh, was it really that long? It was longer than that. So, you have the same stuff. Here's the music. Here is the sound effects building. And this is exactly what it would be on a real movie lot. Exactly. You have buildings that you go to. Here is the film challenges. Oh, that's going to be a new piece, actually. There's the stock footage. Here's the theater where you go see other people's films. One of the more fun things, when we get into the fun things for you. Here's the tutorials and the interviews. One of the fun things, obviously, about being on a backlot is, of course, being able to drive the golf carts, right? Of course it is. So we wanted to make this kind of a fun game that you actually could. You could actually drive the golf carts around. Jeez. And you actually can damage your cart, and it costs you prestige to fix it. Don't run over people. It really hurts the cart more than the people, to be honest with you. And it damages the cart so bad that it won't drive straight if you do crash it, which I did. I got to pick up some energy for my battery in the cart. But you drive around. This is a quick way of getting around. You can actually race people for, oh no, prestige. And you use prestige to buy things like clothes for your character, or tutorials, or just using anything on the lot. So, woohoo! Okay. Poof. All right. So that is the lot, and you can customize your cart as well. You can different paint jobs. You can get rockets on it, and smoke, pellets, and all sorts of silliness. So that is the lot. Am I leaving anything out? So in this game, as you play it, it really will change your life, because not only will other people be playing this, but we've got a series of books. Let me escape out of here. See if I can do this. We have a series of books. Let me get back to me, right? Unless you just want to all look at Monique. Let's all look at Monique for a moment. Okay. All right. So we have a series of books. I don't know if any of you guys have read these, but you have to demonstrate three-point lighting on your movie set, and you're going to use your phone to do it. You're going to film your shot. This is my light. This is my key light. This is my fill light. This is my backlight. And then you're going to post that to social media. Whoop, that's how you finish your assignment. So that you'll have 3,000 or 4,000 other people who have done the same assignment, and you're going to be able to see how they did it. So you're learning by watching other people your age do the assignment themselves, right? And then you're going to have to do it. So that's kind of what's coming as far as the lot's concerned. So with all of that long-winded, preachy nonsense, what do we have as far as questions? Does anybody have any questions so far?
It's open for question, guys. Do you have everybody muted? Everybody's unmuted now? No? Any questions? No?
Oh, questions? Come on.
Really?
Okay, so everybody, let me back up then. So has everybody registered on Sneak on the Lot?
No, it's just because it just filled up. Yeah. So.
Wow.
No, I'm just trying to think if I have or not. Here's
What's
one
that?
I have, and I haven't gotten. I've tried to apply for one of our one Monique sent a while ago, and I haven't gotten anything back saying here's your password yet.
Oh, you know what? I will fix that for you. I can fix that for you right now.
Thanks.
Here, I'll just look it up. What is the name of your school?
School.
Yeah, what's the name of your school?
She's right. Isn't that Patricia, right? Didn't I send you yours last night? Hold on.
Sorry.
What school you're freezing? Type it in the chat box. Let me look on the list here. I'm pretty sure that's Pat. I don't know you guys by facial recognition so well anymore. I don't get to see them that often, but hold on.
Liberty, I think. All right. I'll just look you up by school name.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure that you're registered. Liberty High School, and this is in Henderson, Nevada, right? All right.
Oh, yeah. Coronado still not on?
Yes, it's in the Henderson. Okay.
Anything needs to go to Las Vegas or Staff?
Las Vegas or Staff? Hey, isn't that?
So you just registered 2 days ago. Let me just approve you, and you will be good to go, and you'll be able to log in and do everything you need to do. 16, right? 2016. 06. 06. There, you're good to go. So you go ahead and just register. Do you know what your password is? Do you remember your password? Oh, did she disappear? Oh, okay, she's got it. Good. You're all set. There was something that happened, just so you know, when the hacker attacked our mail server. It stopped. Our mail server is also what sends our programmers information saying this person's registered. They just registered. This person just registered. So 2 days ago, we just barely got it fixed. So 2 days ago, they weren't getting emails saying this person just registered. So that's probably why you hadn't received anything yet.
I actually had a question for you regarding the we had duplicates that registered, and I sent them to Jared yesterday, and he thought I asked him if there was any way we could just assign a new school to those codes, but he said that's a question for you.
What's that?
Whether we can, so the duplicates, there were several people that went in and signed up a couple of times, so codes were issued to the multiple times. So I said, well, could we just give you the new school that isn't registered and the email address and the contact person, and could we reassign that code?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the easiest way to do it is just email me. You can email me at Fletch, or let's do Sneak on the Lot, Fletch@sneakonthelot.com. And I can respond back to you and tell you I can make any changes you need as far as your account's concerned.
Great.
And then we can delete the school that you don't want or you don't need, and we'll make sure that we're all clean and clear on everything. But once you log in, if you go to My Account, up here you'll see these 4 little icons, or these links. You click My Account, and then you'll see your school code. down here. That's how it's done. That's it.
Great.
Pretty simple.
So, any questions? I see we got a whole group there. Don't you guys have any questions? No?
Status report on Fragment. Let me see. I might be able to show you something on Fragment. Hang on a second. Let me look. Vimeo. Maybe. I don't know. Did we ever upload it to Vimeo? Let me ask Mike real quick. Hang on a second. Let me see.
Okay, while he's checking it, really? No questions?
We're a couple of things through text, aren't we? So chat. Maybe not.
No, there hasn't been, just the stuff on registering. And that's it. And then, of course, Mr. New wants to know about Fragment because he's a rock star. He helped shoot it.
Of course, I'm looking for it. I'm gonna try and find a Fragment clip. What's this? Hang on. All right, so I got a couple of things to show you. Let's see. Nothing's done yet. Well, there's a lot done. What am I talking about? I'm do a quick search, see if I can find.
And then when you do that, we got the next group coming in, so you might have to start from the top again in about 10 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Chet didn't tell you all the stuff you were getting into, did he?
No, I had no idea. All right, so oh shoot, I want to show it to you. Servers. Let's hang on a second. I can show you. Hey, I have a bunch of stills.
Hey, I can show you live footage off my machine.
That's right, I know, but yours doesn't have visual effects added to it.
No, mine's just straight up. Hold on.
That's just the title sequence. So, to give you an, let's see if I can show you. I have a still sitting here. I can put a still. That's not all that interesting, but let's see. If I'd have known you were going to ask, I can get it for the next group probably.
You should have known with Steve in the house he was going to ask.
I know, right? That was dumb of me.
Wasn't dumb.
Let's see. Okay, so here's a still. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So this is added, by the way. The muzzle flare is added. Remember, we weren't actually shooting guns. The color, obviously, the color has been altered and changed. But the smoke was real, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if we added a. There was a clip that we added. This was on request of. This is on request of our composer, who wanted to add something along these lines, and so he threw together this quick little thing to kind of indicate and help the audience catch up to speed before the show actually begins. So we're working on something that this was his temp version. So that was his sort of opening title. I've got Mike searching for the actual clip. So we'll see if we can pull that up for the next group. Sorry, I don't have it like on me. I know it's here somewhere. No final renders. Interesting. How do we not get that? Don't we have a drive somewhere? Maybe I don't. Oh wait. Hang on. Oh, I do have a fragment drive. This might. I don't know. I'll have to look. I've got 2 fragment drives here, but I think they're just copies of the footage. Anyway. Sorry, Steve. I'll have to catch you up on the next one. It turned out really good, though. We were really happy with it, so it's a lot of fun.
I'm trying to load to see if I have a. I might have a shot here where he was putting the sound to it. Oh no, no, actually no, that wasn't it. I have a bunch of footage, but
when he was putting the music to the clips.
yeah, but I'll have to look for it too. So, any questions, guys?
No questions about making movies? Everybody's just a pro at it then. I love this kid who's wearing a suit and tie to class. That's awesome, by the way. Just want to point that out.
I do have a student that has a question on script writing.
Oh, great.
They're a little bit embarrassed not to come up to ask personally. So they were wondering, depending on different genres, you talked about 90 pages for a kid film, but different genres, what are you looking at for page counts?
You know, it depends a lot. So if it's an action movie, they tend to range around 89 to 95 pages, typically. If it's a serious drama, they tend to go a little bit longer, about 120, 130 at the very most. And then, you know, I mean, you have the rare ones like Schindler's List, where the film is just it's almost 4 hours long. It's extremely rare. You're not, as a young screenwriter or a young filmmaker, you're never going to be able to get anything past anybody that's over 120. They just won't look at it. If you're Steven Spielberg and you're Steve Zalian, who's writing Schindler's List, you can write 400 pages and no one's going to care. You know, everyone's going to go, "It's brilliant, it's genius, I want it." But I would suspect that no one is quite at Steve Zalian's level just yet. Not that you can't, because you can. Obviously, there are writers in the classroom. These writers will be the next generation of Steve Zalians. But right now, keep your scripts under 120 pages. And if you're going to make a movie, I really suggest to keep it under 80. Because the longer your movie is, the more difficult it is going to be to get it done. And as young filmmakers, the biggest problem, you're going to have a couple of really big problems. The number one problem for young filmmakers to make a movie is, I would say number one is finding people of like mind, finding people who like making movies as much as you like making movies. That's the hardest thing to do, to try and find people who will stick with you through the difficult parts and the fun parts. My suggestion to you is to order pizza at the end of every shoot day. People will stick around if they think pizza is at the end of something. They'll go through a lot of things in order to get pizza at the end of the day. So feed your crews. Don't let them get hungry, because they get hungry, then they leave. Right? That's how it works. My next piece of advice for young filmmakers is don't hire your friends to be your filmmakers, your co-filmmakers. You find people who have as much passion and desire about making movies as you do. You hire your friend, and they'll be with you for a few scenes, and then they're going to get tired, and they're going to move on. Right? So find people who are passionate about it. I think Saturday I'm meeting with some guys who, and they're legendary, but when they were 11, they're my age now, but when they were 11, they made a film that was a shot-for-shot remake of the film Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they were 11 years old. It took them about 30 years to finish the movie. And they finally finished the last scene when they were about 35 years old. It's considered the the best and longest fan film of all time. And those two guys have since met Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg screened their movie. George Lucas screened their movie. And they were 11 when they started. And they're not filmmakers. They just were passionate about making movies. But it took them 30 years to finish that film.
Hey, Matt Mayhood's asking what your favorite movie, what's the favorite movie you worked on?
That I've worked on?
Yep.
There's a different level of favorite. So, like, I did a little film 22 years ago called Sandlot that is still, it's a beloved little picture. We had no idea at the time it was going to be anything. But people love that film today. Even today, people come up to me. I got out of a speeding ticket once because I had made this movie that the judge really loved. But I got to admit that the film I just finished that comes out on May 15th around the nation is probably my proudest work. For the last 2.5 years, we've spent going around the world, 18 different countries, millions of miles, rescuing children from, and it sounds terrible, but child sex slavery. During the course of the making of the film, we did 25 episodes. We shot 25 episodes, and 3 of the episodes make up the feature film. We rescued 57 children while making that film and put 7 people in prison for the rest of their lives. Now, since that time, total, we've rescued over 450 children, and we've put 139 people in prison over the last 2.5 years. So that piece, I'll never work on another picture as long as I live, wherein lives were literally saved. And so that's a pretty proud moment for us, this movie that's just coming out now.
And I might add, the poster's behind you, right? Isn't that The Abolitionist?
That is the poster, yeah. Would you like to see the trailer? Anybody? We got a PG-13, by the way.
Yeah, wait a minute. Look at that. We've got thumbs up on the trailer.
You guys want to see the trailer? Okay, thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right. So let me find the trailer. Where is that? All right. I think I can see it from.
You got a PG on the trailer? It's
Yeah.
a pretty.
No, not just the trailer. We got a PG on the whole movie.
Wow.
A little backstory there. The PG. I don't know if you guys know how the MPAA works, but what it is it's a compendium of all the studios, all the 5 major studios, and the board is made up from executives of all these studios, with one person who's the president of the board, or chairman rather, who is that position rotates through the studios. Right now it's with Paramount. So the entire board is made up of maybe 20 different people. It was a 50-50 split, R PG-13. And a mother stood up, an executive, who's also a mother, stood up and said, my 13-year-old little girl needs to see this movie. And voila, we got a PG-13. So this is the trailer for a film that we just finished called The Abolitionists.
So she's 14. Yes. Here's the thing. Does she do everything? If she wants more money, she better ask. And she's 14.
It's frozen, I think, in frame.
No, it is. Hang on a second. It's not working.
So she's.
Can you click it on the? Because all we see is the accompanying the PG-13 rating. That's what your screen's locked on. Oh, there you go.
Is it working now?
Yes. Does she do everything? If she wants.
Does that work? I can download it really quick.
Yes. Yes, it works. It looks like it's stuttering, though.
Let me try this. I'll download it really fast. Well, as fast as it'll download. I can't say that it... Oh, yeah, that's fast enough. Hang on 2 seconds. we're working through the glitch. Okay, let's try this. This will be playing right off of. Does that work? Let's see.
Yes.
So she's 14. Yes. Here's the thing, does she do everything? If she wants more money, she better ask. And she's 14 years old. You're the man. People travel all over the world to achieve sexual children. They're this age, and they're this age, being forced into sexual exploitation.
There were girls, the youngest of which was 10 years old. She was actually 6 months pregnant.
These babies are having good looks. Even the ones that are saying, yeah, I'm 18, and I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. The demand side is what drives them. People want to buy that. If me and my team don't find these kids and come for these kids, no one is going to. It's our job. We have to do something. When we're a foreign government, we work with the foreign government. We pretend to be one of those traveling people on a sex tour. We're going to go out to these bad guys. And where they are. We're going to find them. We're going to root them out. We're going to pull these kids out. The typical thing is to do like the bad guys do. They sell kids. They sell kids for sex.
I knew that night that the rest of my life would be spent rescuing and saving these little girls.
Our best weapon is our stealthiness and our ability to really just trick the bad guy. Good people don't know how vast this problem is.
Cool. Yeah, hey, look at that.
Yeah. So if you want to get involved, you can go to rescue2m.com, and that's where you'll see the website. You can watch the trailer there. You can join as volunteers. You can do all sorts of things. But that's it. That's the end of the day, right, for you guys?
Yeah, well, they're probably in the middle of classes, but you get to start all over. So if you want to take a couple-minute break, unless anybody has some questions. Okay, go ahead.
How would you suggest any of us kids who want to go into the film industry go about that? Like, how do we start?
That's a really good question. You know, I've been doing this most of my life now, and I've never met two people that have the same story, ever. You make it in the film industry by sheer tenacity, right? By doing the job that you do and doing it better than anybody else. And there are unions and stuff, but there's no, like, normally you get inside of a union, let's say the teachers union, and it's really difficult to get rid of someone who's not very good at their job. The film industry is not that way. Especially at the pinnacle of the industry where you work with really, really high-quality professionals, you can fire people at any time. It doesn't matter. I don't like you. I don't like the way your breath stinks. You're gone. Boom. Next, bring in the next person. Like, that's literally, you can do that. And so it drives people to be the very, very best that they can be. Because it's not tolerated to be poor at your job in this industry, because there's the number of people trying to get into the industry is so high that I have the choice. I have the pick of the litter. And typically you have to do your first couple of pictures for free and just work for free in order to get some experience under your belt, and then you start to know people, and then you make some phone calls, and if you're really good at your job, let's say your job is to pick up poop from an elephant that you have on a movie set, right? And the job exists. I'm not kidding. The job actually exists. So if I was shooting with an elephant, someone would be hired to scoop up after it. Well, what if I was Gary Giroux, right? Gary Giroux is one of the best animal trainers in the world. He did all the Harry Potter films with the owls and everything else. Now, if I was doing a movie that I needed an animal wrangler, I would call my friend Gary Giroux. But if Gary Giroux wasn't available, he might very well say, well, what's the budget of your movie? Well, it's a little teeny budget movie. Well, I just worked with this guy, and he was amazing. Like, he was amazing with the animals. Well, what did he do for you? Well, all he did was pick up elephant poop. But he was amazing at it. He was the best elephant poop picker-upper in the world. So, okay, well, give me his number, right? So you pick up the phone, you call the elephant guy, and you say, hey, I heard Gary totally endorsed you. Are you interested in working as a wrangler on this movie? And suddenly the guy who was scooping up poop on the last movie is a wrangler on the next picture. That's a really good, it sounds silly, but that's a really good example of how the film industry works. You be the best you can, and so that when somebody else needs a job, they call your buddy who you worked for before, and they go, hey, who's this? Oh, I just worked with this kid. He was fantastic. One of my producing partners, his name is Jerry Mullen, right? Now, you probably don't know his name at all, but you've all seen Jerry Mullen's movies, right? Jerry Mullen started as an animal poop picker-upper on a movie called Shane, right, in 1950s. It was a black and white movie, very, very famous. I'm sure all the teachers have seen it, but it was called Shane, right? It won a lot of Oscars, and he went from that movie onto others and onto others until he became a driver. All he did was drive people to and from set. That's all he did. And he was doing a little movie called Psycho. And he's actually the taxi cab driver in the movie, right? Alfred Hitchcock, if you haven't seen it. It's really good. It's scary. Okay? But from that, he started doing his own breakdowns, his own production breakdowns, just on the side, didn't tell anybody about it, just so he could get his head around how to break down a movie. He walked into the production meeting one day and he said, "Kyle, why do you have that on that day? Seems like if you just switch this with this day, you could save yourself a whole day." And the production manager said, "Wait a second. Who is this guy?" "Oh, he's just one of our drivers." "Well, how come he knows so much about scheduling?" "He just saved us a day." "Oh, well, guess what? A week later, somebody called that production manager and said, "Hey, I need a production supervisor. Who should I get?" "Dude, I just worked with this driver who is amazing." And he went from being a transportation coordinator to a production supervisor. Okay? He was an animal poop picker-upper a couple of, probably 15, 20 years before that. Then he became a production manager. Well, guess what? He started production managing films like, now none of these are going to sound familiar to you guys, Tootsie, but they're going to sound really familiar to teachers. Tootsie, right? And a whole host of other really big movies. Well, suddenly, he's walking through the parking lot. He quit the business. Quit it entirely. He opened up a donut shop in Montana, right? There's a radical change for you. He fails miserably at being a donut shop manager. So he moves back to Los Angeles, and he's walking through the parking lot at Paramount. This is a great story. It's long, but it's a great story. He's walking through the parking lot at Paramount, and he steps up onto the curb, and a guy pulls up and almost hits him. He opens his door, and he does actually hit him with his door. Bam! He opens his door, and he says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And he looks up, and he knows the guy. The guy says, "Jerry, what are you doing? I thought you were in a donut shop business." He says, "No, I'm back." "Wow, well, welcome back. See you later." And they both went to separate meetings. Jerry goes to one meeting where a producer offers him a job to be a production manager. And this other guy goes to another meeting with Kathleen Kennedy. Now you guys might know Kathleen's name, right? You know Kathleen? No? She produced the new Star Wars film that just came out? Okay. Kathleen Kennedy. Well, Kathleen Kennedy's first film was called E.T. If you remember that one. You've heard of E.T.? All right. So she's Steven Spielberg's gal. She's She's tough to work for. She's a no nonsense kind of lady. All right, so she this guy goes to a meeting with Kathleen, and Kathleen says, "Man, I need a production manager. If only Jerry Mullen. I need somebody like Jerry Mullen to do this movie." And he goes, "I just hit Jerry Mullen with my car in the parking lot." "What?" "Yeah, no, I just did. He's back in town. I'll go grab him." So he runs out, chases Jerry down. Jerry had already accepted a job with this other guy. Now, Jerry's an ex-Marine and a man of his word kind of guy. And he says, "Sorry, I can't do it. I can't do your movie. I already accepted this other movie with this other guy." And the guy says, "Hang on a second. You're turning down a movie with Kathleen Kennedy. You understand this is The Color Purple, Steven Spielberg producing or directing." He says, "I'm sorry, I can't do it. I already accepted this job from this other guy. Let me see if I can get out of it. I'll call him and see if it's really going to happen." He calls the guy, says, "You know what? I don't know if it's going to happen. Why don't you just give me 24 hours? And Kathleen says, "You've got 23, and you better have an answer for me." He waits. The guy calls him back and says, "No, take the movie." He produced The Color Purple. Following that movie, he produced every single Steven Spielberg movie up through Schindler's List. So, and Minority Report, if you've seen Minority Report. So he produced The Color Purple and Hook, Rain Man, Tootsie, Days of Thunder, the Jurassic Park 1 and 2, Minority Report. You know, he would have done Private Ryan, except he took his parents on a cruise. But that's how this business works, right? You get your foot in the door, and then you work it, and you do the best you can. You be the very, very best you can, and you will make it. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, but you will make it. And you're in a great place. You guys are in Nevada. What are you, 2 hours from Los Angeles? Right?
4.
Is it 4? Really?
Hey, we have another question from Matt.
I can't remember.
Well,
Now I
5. What was the largest roadblock you've ever come into while making a movie?
Oh, jeez. There's always roadblocks, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're Steven Spielberg or if you're you guys. You're always, movie making is nothing but a series of very exquisite, very grand problems. And you got to solve them. And they happen to everybody because you can't foresee every problem that's going to come down the road. So an average problem would be something like, oh, well, we're supposed to shoot scene 120 today, and it's raining. This is not good. So what do? Right? So you have cover days on the soundstage. So you have a plan for if things happen. So once you do it for a while, you get the hang of like the average problems that you're going to see. There is always this really sort of weird, how do you solve this unsolvable problem? I remember we were at Paramount doing a picture called 7 Days. It was a television series way back when. And we needed to find, and this is going to sound crazy, and you can only really find this probably in Las Vegas and LA, we needed to find overnight a monkey that spoke sign language. That was an odd request, but we did. We found him, and he worked. It was great. He was a really smart monkey, smarter than most of the people on that crew, I think. That was a tough one. There's always physical things, shooting long hours, shooting in dangerous places. This past couple of years, we've shot in really weird places that you just can't predict, especially on this last project, The Abolitionist, you can't predict the things that would happen to you. So you just kind of rolled with it no matter what. You just kept rolling, kept your camera rolling, do whatever you can, we'll figure it out. But sometimes it got really dangerous. So that was something I hadn't experienced on movies. Because we're so safe. I mean, we really protect ourselves and guard ourselves and make everything super safe and take the time to do it right. But in this, you couldn't. You just have to go. So, well, here's an experience. So one time, Chet, my partner, had a camera strapped onto him, and they were going into a brothel. I know this sounds terrible, but those are the kind of places we go to capture these bad guys. So they're going into this brothel, and they're patting everyone down, looking for wires, looking for, cameras, recording devices, anything. And they're patting him down, and he didn't know what to do. And there's a line of people, right? So as he's approaching the line, he's thinking about bailing. He's thinking about ditching. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to just run. I'm going to get out. And the other guys are already in the room. Half the team is already in this place. And the camera needs to get in there. And so he just stayed there, talking to him. And as he got up there, he said, and he speaks Spanish fluently, he said, I got up to the door, and I literally forgot everything. I forgot how to speak Spanish. I forgot my name. I forgot everything. Like, my whole mind just went blank. And he didn't know what to do. And the guy started trying to speak to him in Spanish and asking him questions. And Chet, who has spoke Spanish for 20 years, couldn't, like, nothing. No words, couldn't speak Spanish suddenly. And the guy just got so frustrated with him that he just waved him on. Fine, go in. And as soon as he stepped past the door, he said that all the Spanish came back. Who knew? So there are, for lack of a better term, there are acts of God that take place. And especially in this movie. I mean, it's been filled with miracle after miracle that I've never witnessed before in 25 years of making movies. I've never seen the kinds of things we've seen making this film. And they just kind of happen. Happy accidents, is what we'd call them on a movie set. So that's not something that we solved, but it solved itself. It's tough. We've had friends die. I've had friends die in helicopter accidents. Those are tough to get through. We lost a guy on Con Air. We lost a guy on the World's Fastest Indian. So those are always tough things to get over as well. What's your experience with productions? I'm not sure what that means.
I think probably because the group, some of the students that are and the teachers that are in here now, they're probably just joining us, or they didn't get the fun part of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So I started off when I was probably your age. I was a layout artist for Saturday morning cartoons on television. Well, back then they were Saturday morning cartoons. They don't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore. But back in the day, there weren't the Nickelodeons and the Cartoon Networks, and there was no cable. So you had 4 networks, and every Saturday or Saturday morning would be cartoons. That was the only time you could see cartoons. And so I was 16, and I got a job as a layout artist doing Saturday morning cartoons on television. I had some talent or gift as an artist. I think probably because I broke my legs when I was a kid, when I was about 12, and I spent about 3 years learning how to walk again, and we didn't have video games, we didn't have anything, so I drew a lot, and so I got pretty good at it. So I got a job when I was 16, and I did that all through high school, and then Disney came calling. Disney bought out our little animation studio, and they were gearing up to make a new film, and they needed a lot of animators and people who knew what they were doing. They were gearing up to do a little film called The Little Mermaid, and they offered me a job in Los Angeles. I actually turned them down because I didn't want to do animation anymore. I was tired of it. It's a sweatshop. It's tough. And so I went from there to my first live-action film, which was called The Buttercream Gang, very low-budget film, where I was a PA, which is the entry point. No matter if you've been to college or not, you're always getting the entry point into the film industry is a PA, a production assistant. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a terrible PA. I wasn't good at it at all. In fact, I fell asleep in this big tree house. We were shooting late in the summer. It was a beautiful day. The sun was out. I stayed up late the night before. I was in my early 20s. and I laid down, and that was a huge mistake, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, the whole crew was gone. Where'd they go? So the whole crew left me in this treehouse, and base camp was probably a quarter mile away. So when I woke up, I panicked. I ran out of the treehouse. I clambered down out of the treehouse and ran out into the street, and there they all were. They had just moved the trucks down beyond the tree line, and they were laughing at me, and I never sort of lived that down. But I was a terrible PA. But on the same movie, they asked me to do storyboards, which is something I was familiar with. So I storyboarded that movie, and I was never a PA again. So I went from storyboard, film to film to film to film, and I was never out of work for 25, probably 23 years, and then I switched over and I partnered with Jerry and Chet and started making movies. And that was started writing, producing, and directing movies. And that was just a few years ago. So I did storyboards for a long time. But it was a great film school to do storyboards. So I got to work with some of the very best. I worked with Danny Boyle, who's, again, you probably don't know him, but he's an Academy Award-winning director for Trainspotting, and what he won the award for? It was Slumdog Millionaire. And he just did what he doing what called 127 Hours, and then he did that new Steve Jobs movie just last year. So he's a spectacular filmmaker, and I worked with some really bad ones, and you learn from both. And so I did a lot of commercials, probably 1,000 commercials, and then probably 80 or 90 feature films as a storyboard artist. So that's been my experience, and what led me sort of where I'm at now. But it's taken me 25 years. So you got to understand that this business, it doesn't happen overnight. And I thought it would, and it's really frustrating. And I think it's important to remember there's a couple of pieces of advice for you as you step out and want to try and make it in this business, okay? My number one piece of advice is don't compare yourself to anyone. Steven Spielberg was directing television at 19 years old, and that's who I compared myself to. I thought if I could do what Steven did, then I'll make it in this business. And the truth is, Steven's journey was not my journey. Your journey will not be my journey. And so you have to take your path, your journey. And it's usually a very long and difficult road. But you can't encumber yourself with carrying water for somebody else. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. If your friend is being successful, be happy for him, because he's probably going to take you along with him. And when you're making it, you reach down and you help other people out. That's what this is. That's what this business is all about. Is helping other people get into the business. You're going to find a lot of people who will help you get into the business. That's not the problem. The problem is maintaining and being the very best so that you grow in the industry, right? So don't ever give up. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Don't ever give up. And always be doing something. Don't get lazy, right? Always be in motion. If you want to direct, make movies and go direct them. If you want to write screenplays. You know, if you want to produce, help your friends make movies. Start doing it now. There's nothing stopping you. You guys have cameras, you have lighting equipment, you have sound equipment, you have teachers who are willing to help you. Get out there and start making stuff. It's not going to be the best stuff in the world. It's not going to be your best work that you're ever going to do. It doesn't matter. You're learning how to do this, and you can't learn it any other way than by doing it. So get out there and make movies, right? Any other questions?
Any other questions, guys? Should we give them do you need a break or anything real quick, or?
I don't know. If you guys are in class, right? So
yeah.
Your teachers
they're in class.
Your teachers need to talk to them, or it doesn't matter to me. I can go however long you want, whatever.
I think they're doing it as we go, but I need the teachers to let me know. Where do you guys want? Do you want them to go over the website and everything again? Are we at that stage where you have a new group of students? Maybe. I'm looking at all the pictures at the bottom. He's obviously talking to his students. Oh, they look like they're getting ready to leave. Ah.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, you want to take a 10-minute break and then come back?
Hold on. New group coming in 5 minutes. So
Let's take a
shall
five-
we? Oh,
let's take
wait a
10-minute
minute.
break.
We might have
5
a
minutes.
question coming here.
I have a
Hold on.
question.
Ah.
What college would you recommend us going to?
Okay, this is a good question. There's a lot of colleges out there for film. Here's what I would recommend for higher education. There's a lot of film schools out there. Most I would not attend for film. All right? USC is a great one. My DP that I use all the time is a professor of film at USC. USC is a great film school. AFI is a great film school. Full Sail, that I know Monique is going to smile at. It's a good film school. They do a lot of good stuff. Chapman University in Los Angeles is very, very good. What I would recommend is go to school to learn about the human condition. And what I mean by that is telling stories is nothing more than knowing human interaction. Go to school to learn more about people, history, how history has changed people, psychology, anything that's going to teach you about people. Take an acting class, for heaven's sakes. Go in and find out how terribly hard it is to act. If you're going to direct, you should know what your actors are going through. Go take an acting class. Because acting can teach you a lot about people. So go learn about people, how to deal with people. This is a collaborative art form, and if you can't work with people, you're not going to like this business. You should go make documentaries about lions in the desert. But so any of those are really good. Any other school is great. Go to school, but I wouldn't recommend necessarily going for film. Go to school, go learn about people, how to interact with them, how to deal with them, because you're going to deal with every single concept of people there is, both color and political ideology, religion, and you have to be able to work with all of them. And quite honestly, that's the part I enjoy about this industry, is working with all those different kinds of people. But learn how to deal with people. You'll be a better storyteller, a better writer, a better filmmaker if you'll just learn about people. So any school is great. There she goes. Did I answer your question? Okay, good.
Is that it? Anybody else have a couple of questions, or shall we take a breather? Okay, checking.
We'll do 5 minutes? I'll see if I can find fragment.
Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break, guys. I'm just going to mute it, so we'll be off the air for 5 minutes.
Okay. I don't know.
All right, have a good one. Bye, guys. Have a good day. It's all good, thank you. All right, why is this not working? I got no sound. I got nothing here. Why not?
Because there's 12 problems. Look how much it is.
Just try. That speaker. Oh, do I need to have like a headphone or something plugged in? Lord in heaven, why? Where? Okay, none of this is.
I'll see you later.
All right, Sudie. All right. What's going on here? Hey, sweetie. Oh, maybe there's nothing going on right now. It's fine. That. Hi, kiddo.
Hey.
Did you guys find anything? somebody on that drive. Okay. That's me, man. Bald.
Just let me know when you want to go again.
Can you hear me? I guess you can.
Yes, I can. Yeah,
Okay.
do you want? Are you good to go?
I'm just looking for this fragment.
Oh, okay. I guess I can stop screen sharing now, huh? Well, I'll wait for you. Okay, we're about to get started again. Steve doesn't have to see that clip.
It's good, actually. I want to show it. I just can't find it. I'm looking still. I've got the guy scouring the drives. I've got the piece that we added music to. That might be interesting, but
You can show something else, one of the other ones if you wanted.
oh, that's really fun, huh? Not, there it is. All right, let me see if I can. I have another fragment drive here, but I don't know what's on it. I'm afraid the actual drive, the edit drive, is studio.
Yeah.
It must be. There's Monique's footage.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that footage too. In fact, one of these days I'll get enough time to finish the story I started on your whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I start working on it, I get another project, so.
Well, it's not like you're busy over there. Come on.
No, none of us are busy. Heck. Oh, look, what do you guys have? Snacks over there? Oh, I see how Sparkling Waters is. No snacks for us. She has Starbucks, but we didn't get any.
You're not supposed to bring it unless you can share it with the class.
That's an empty room. Okay, he's still looking.
Just getting a little hot chocolate
Oh, look at you.
on the throat, feeling better. It's all these late nights. We've got these crazy nights while we're trying to get all the distribution in line, and then it's trips to China, and oh my gosh, it's been crazy.
How exciting, though. Do you guys have a premiere date?
May 16th.
May 16th, that's what it was. I got to write that down.
Yeah, May 16th.
Cool.
Now you don't understand what's
All
going
right,
on.
almost there.
Yeah, I would.
That's the one for the progress. That's what Darren's trying to angle.
That done. Okay.
Okay.
They're still looking for it, but I have something from it, so that might help.
Okay.
Anyway, it's supposed to list everything.
Turn on my camera now.
So yeah, go back into.
Here we go, right?
Yeah, we're good. And so let's see. What do we have here? Steve. Well, look at that. Changed the camera angle, huh?
Me?
No, Steve.
Oh.
Steve, he wanted a better.
Fine now.
He wanted to make sure he got a good seat for Fragment.
I'm still looking for the actual. It's done. We just sent it off to sound effects to finish it up. So.
Okay. Well, so let's pretend like it. So just introduce yourself again, I guess, and just jump right in, and then.
So are these totally new classes? I can see.
Yes, it's some of the same people, but I don't know. Hey, guys, in the chat window, could you let me know if you've got new groups and he needs to go through, start on the website? We're not quite sure with where you guys are at here. They're not doing anything. Really? They just want me to talk all the time. New group? No? Did you guys get to see the website? Nod yes. If you did, no. If you didn't. Okay, no, you didn't. Okay, good. Yeah, so this group, oh, there you vanished. I think we just lost him. Oh, nope, there he is. Maybe.
Oops.
So yeah, they didn't get to see the website and everything. So if you could start going through that again, that'll give the guys time to find the fragments. Uh-oh.
Now I'm back.
Oh, okay. Thought we lost you.
Okay. Where are we at?
Okay. Website. I'm on you, but I've got your still shot up here.
Oh, there's no camera?
No.
Oh, weird.
You're gone.
Let me try and turn the camera off, and then maybe on again.
Even though it ended up that way.
Same?
We still have a still shot there.
Weird.
That's weird.
My internet's just super slow or something. Is it a still, like, of the screen with my camera's on, or is it some other picture?
Yeah, it's just the still shot, your little icon.
Oh. Ooh, I don't know.
Strange.
What is this? Showcase. Q&A. Oh, that's cool. I don't know how to fix this. Let me exit and come back in. Hang on a second.
Okay. So if you guys have any questions you want to put in the chat box or anything, when he gets back in, we'll definitely just have him start going through the website again, unless I hear it differently in the chat box. Okay. And I don't know with you guys if you have classes watching or not, but same thing for you guys. Thanks, Sparkling Waters. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ms. Cox. I apologize to you. Thank you. Sorry.
Did it work? Am I back in?
No, you're not back in.
Okay.
And yeah, they want it from the beginning again for sure. New class, all sitting in the wings, shy. Oh, oh, that's why his room is empty.
Oh, Steve.
I was wondering what was going on over there. Nobody likes to be on camera. So no, you're still just an image. Hey, try to screen share. Maybe you can screen share, and the camera's just not working. click on the, and then you could at least.
Because my light on the camera is on.
How weird.
So I'm screen sharing. You can't see yourself?
Nope, nothing. How bizarre.
Whoa.
Well,
Oh.
credit. Career tech, yeah, and all that stuff.
But I don't know what's wrong here. Hang on, let me try to start my browser over.
Oh, that could be. Or, yeah, that could be.
All right, I'll try.
There you go. Oh, so we're not as shy over there anymore. Everybody's patiently waiting. Ah, there you go, Snow.
How you doing?
It's Mr. Bacta stealing chocolate out of the dish there. Sure. Our video students. Oh, hold on, hold on. They're waving back. They're waving back. And then we got the shy group over here.
Awesome. All right, I'm back. Is it working?
No.
What? I don't know. The camera's on. Shows that it's on. I can see myself moving.
I'm trying to think. What could we do? I could maybe stop this broadcast and start another one. Or, well, no, the rest of us are doing fine. Maybe if you reboot your computer completely.
All right, I'll try. Hang on.
Okay. While he's doing that, maybe I can find some clips for you guys to see from Fragment. I know Mr. New will like that. Hold on one second. Or at least I can show you guys screenshots from Sneak on the Lot. There were 3 of us that attended that. Feature crew shot. Let's see here. There were 3 of us that, okay, so Mr. New, let's see, where is he? That's me, and then we've got Miss Steffenhagen and Mr. New. So that was the summer. They have this Sneak on the Lot. It's not just curriculum, but every summer they do this week-long intensive thing, and you get to do a little, you do a planning, and you're writing the script. You see here, you have Chet over here, and you have Fletch over here. But we sit around, it's everything from writing to the end of the day. We then go and shoot towards the end of the week, and then sound effects, the whole 9 yards. So these are all images from this past summer's workshop. Are you guys seeing these? I can't tell. Oh, you guys aren't even on it helps if I click on the window, huh? So these are all images from our actual workshop this summer on the lot from the set.
Yeah, no, I got mixed up there.
It was cool being on the back lot and shooting, and we all had to, if you're part of the workshop, you rotate between positions, and you get to do every part of the job. Makeup.
Hey, look at that. You're pitching my workshop.
Yeah, I'm pitching your workshop. I've got images here. And you're still a still shot there.
What? I'm moving. I can see me move. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. So they have makeup artists. You see this Miss Steffenhagen. She's one of our teachers here. And that was like the first night we got there. That was probably the freshest we look. At the end of the week, it was brutal. Because it was, yeah, see, that's how brutal that looks. Selfie, you gotta have selfie in there. Very cool stuff, though, to be on the set.
That was fun. That was when we were doing those little spark poppers.
Yeah. We do the safety meeting. They're talking about the weapons, the explosions, everybody. It was just step by step. Look at that. I wonder who that is.
Hey, Steve.
He was in charge of fog. Smoke machine.
You did a good job with the fog. I thought he was awesome.
Nice makeup job there. Stunt guys, they did a whole bunch on stunts. So this is the stunt coordinator, Moya, and his group that were practicing the falls.
I'm going to try and come in through a different browser, maybe.
Okay. Special effects. There's Fletch in action. And then after, at the end of the week, we actually take parts. They put a quick, they take all the footage we've shot on that Thursday, and this is on a Friday, and we brought it over, and the guy that does the sound, can't think of his name right now, Fletch will be able to tell you when he gets back on, but then they sit and score it. And then, like he said, we do a little sightseeing in between. There's Miss Steffenhagen doing the clapper. Wardrobe, that was our group. These are all teachers that are in the workshop. Or in between takes, people sitting around. Then we got to go to the different studios and meet studio people, and there's the cast shot again. Is he in yet? Nope. So, Steve, do you want me to play a clip from there? Do you want me to play an actual clip? Sure, of course. Hold on, let's see if I can find some. Okay. Technical difficulties here. Sneak on the lot. Trying to find something from the actual movie, not just the tours. Oh, here, this will be when we were doing the clip with the sound guy. Can you go? I have to see if. Hold on. Let me get the screen again. Editing. Let me play that from the beginning. So like I said, they put together a quick clip, and that was from the day before, and then we bring it in, and then the composer is actually watching the clip and composing while we're watching. Is that good, Steve? Do you want something else while we're still waiting for him? Sorry, guys. You didn't see it? It didn't play? Okay, let me try again. He's still not on. Okay, hold on. Let me do it again. Let me pick one that he's already put sound to. Hold on. I have to now hit the... share. Okay. So what they do is they put the clip up in the, the composer brings the clips up, a rough cut of the actual screen. Let me get another one. And then sits and plays it frame by frame and then composes sections to it. Let's see if I can find one where it's almost done. Oh, this actually was the last day, so maybe... Hold on.
We'll get them all in.
It's hard to find the actual shots here. And Darren's still MIA, huh? Sorry, guys. This is editing sound. I went too far down here. I could show you guys segments from when we were actually. Sorry, guys. Really small thumbnails to try to find this stuff. Still no Darren, huh?
These are all for the AP, you said, Amy. I think so.
Okay, this clip will work. Hold on. Just need to size it. Now let me get the other screen.
Did that work?
Hold on. Let's see. No, you're still MIA.
How is that possible? I've changed browsers. My camera light is on. I can see me move. I don't get it.
I'm showing clips of you guys shooting.
Yeah, there we are. Look at that. All the sparks going off. Pop, 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 pop.
And that's from the Sneak on the Lot summer workshop there. Nope, you're still, I don't know what happened. So how about if I try a new broadcast altogether and then I send everybody the link? Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what else to do here. Everything was good. We were cruising.
No, I don't understand.
Did you unplug it and plug it back in, all that good stuff, or is it built in?
No, it's just built in. I don't know what's going on. I can see me. I'm moving. I'm there. I'm just not there.
Any suggestions from the Peanut Gallery over there? Any suggestions? Oh, you're at a loss too? I don't know what to suggest. Maybe if we go out, like I said, but it just doesn't make sense. Let me stop this broadcast and let me just try to start a new one. And then I'll send everybody that's on here the new link. And then maybe, hey, that's the only thing left, right? It's the only thing we haven't tried. So let's do that. Okay, I'm stopping.